You're going to love this.
I think it has more versatility than Scimitar, but less tempo. So I guess in an item deck, like with Dragon Star, it's a lot better. And it is 2 cards. So I think it belongs in like a value mid deck maybe. Or I can even see it in control because it's so versatile and it's kind of like nice value to have it split.
I think this belongs in item decks. Like the nice thing about Steel Scimitar is it's really good tempo, so it goes in tempo decks like Aggro Warrior. But I don't think you can do that with Cloak and Dagger. Like having 2 Magicka for the same amount of stats is not that insane tempo anymore. Well, the fact that there are 2 items might mean that in item decks it's better.
Yeah, like
you can build them simultaneously with what was it called?
the red cards? Like this has really good...
The free cost 2-3. The weapons.
Oh, the weapon guy. Skilled blacksmith.
Skilled blacksmith. Okay. Isn't the blacksmith the one that reduces the cost?
Is a tradition now.
Wait, sorry. VVZen interrupted you. I think I'll give this a 3 out of 5. I think it's useful in certain decks. Like, it's really good synergy with red cards, right? But red cards doesn't really have a deck yet. But who knows, you might see some good applications with this.
Yeah, I think I agree. It can find some synergy, but I think it has to be in more item heavy decks. That can benefit from the fact that you have 2 items.
Yeah, but right now, like, item decks just don't really have a place, right?
I don't think it fits in any of the current decks, no?
Yeah, so... yeah. But I think it's a... Do you like the design of dual cards? I think this is a pretty cool card, though.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I still haven't found any of them to be particularly powerful.
I mean, the only drawback of dual cards is like you can overdraw yourself. Well, that's my problem usually. But this card is only 1 cost, so I guess you will really overdraw yourself.
Yeah. This card has really nice synergy with Shrine too.
Oh yeah, Shrine. Yeah, so like, and it's quite versatile. Like if you don't want the 2 health, it's just a lot slower. Like 1 Magicka. Scimitar is just really good tempo early on. And I guess you have Gambler's synergy.
I think this is kind of a sleeper card. Like people are quite quick to compare it to Scimitar, but I think this goes into very different decks than Scimitar.
Yeah, it's not a Scimitar card, but it's like obviously the first comparison you think of is Scimitar, but the versatility is quite good, and 2 cards does mean that 2 cheap cards means it's quite powerful in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Why would you want that in a Shrine deck? I mean, it's not as fast as Scimitar, but plus 1 Magicka to do 2 damage on a minion is still quite good. So it's kind of like a Firebolt if you have a minion on board. And 2 health is like Cleric of Kind, but it's 1 cost cheaper. So in that sense, I think it's still a decent tempo card if you're a reactive deck, but not as a aggressive deck. Yeah. Alright, so I give it 3 out of 5. What is your score for this one?
So 3 out of 5 to 3 out of 5, what does that mean? It's like
let's
playable only under some conditions?
Yeah, so like let's do like 3 is like playable in some conditions, 2 is like very, very niche decks, 1 is like meme tier, 4 is like quite versatile, and 5 I guess is just auto include basically.
Okay.
Why would you want items in a reactive deck? I mean, you have Rehab Battle Mage. Rehab Battle Mage plus 1 of these cards means you get a big fat guard for 1.5 cards, and then you can use the other one on a Dragon Star Rider or something. It's not a reactive deck, but like a little slower deck. So like this is just good value card. Yeah.
Okay, so that was rated 3 out of 5 then.
Yeah. Alright. Tiny Dragon. Well, first, the animation is 5 out of 5. But,
Yeah,
yeah. They did a great job on
bonus
that
points
one.
for that animation.
Yeah. Hopefully this animation can bring Joe back, but maybe not. Alright, what do you think about Tiny Dragon?
Uh, well, I think people were really excited about this card, but I don't see it. Today I played against a deck that brought a really good point. That it's a dragon, so you get all the dragon synergy from it. So if you manage to make some kind of more, I don't know, archer dragon or something like this, would definitely fit there. But the I don't know, deal 1 damage to enemy creatures. I kind of miss the stat line of Skaven.
Yeah, I think like Skaven's downside is rarely a downside. If you're a reactive deck that wants 1 damage to all minions in a lane.
Yeah.
And like even in Battle Mage it's positive because you can ping your own Breton. Like Tiny Dragon is I think okay, the only time I really liked it is when I was against the Quartermaster. I know it felt amazing. But aside from that, I don't think I mean it sets up Skaven maybe. Like 1 pings is good with Skaven, but other than that I don't see its value.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that insane to me. It definitely has its uses though. Like just being able to ping a lane, definitely useful. If it was in any other color other than red, it would be insanely powerful. But because red has Skaven, I'm just not sure that this is better than Skaven.
Yeah, for sure. Good against tokens maybe, but Skaven is better against tokens because Skaven eats the lane and then fights the lane. This just eats the lane then dies.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Well, if tokens were actually played, then this would definitely be insane against tokens.
Yeah.
But tokens are not really, I think, much right
Like you
now.
don't really want to play this on 2, you kind of want to play this effect on 3 cost, which is Skaven cost, because you want to play something proactive on 2 rather than super reactive. Like Fighter's Guild is reactive, but like you most of the time you can play it on 2 and you don't feel so bad. But if this goes into an empty lane, you don't really want that. Yeah. I think and this I don't think red dragon decks are a thing, right?
Well, the idea is that this might be good enough to make them a thing, but definitely not a thing right now.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I got destroyed by this dragon deck.
What were you playing?
I was playing Scout and he played the 3/3 that keeps drawing, and
Oh
then I didn't have an
yeah.
answer,
You didn't draw
and
your
he played like
squish.
4 or 5. Yeah, he played like 4 or 5 dragons, so he drew cards. So that was
Yeah.
GG.
I mean, yeah, if it's a non-interactive deck, I think dragons are really quite good. But I think I would actually give this 2.5 out of 5. I don't hate the card. I just think it only belongs in probably Doomcrag or Dragons. But even Doomcrag, I don't even think Doomcrag super likes this card. Like all your things are so small already, and like self-killing things is actually good in that deck. Like with Onday and Namira. So symmetrical, like Skaven is only this is only better than Skaven in a Doomcrag turn, but if you have Doomcrag on board, they're not gonna face your tiny dragon. Like usually your Doomcrag goes field and then it pings things off with sharpshooters in the shadow lane. Like they're never gonna play into Doomcrag, I think.
Yeah, I can agree with Toasty. He says it might be a one-off, maybe two-off if you really wanna go heavy on the token hate. But yeah, I think it doesn't fit that many decks. I agree with your rating.
Yeah, because like all your things are so small in Doomcrag already. I know you ping things down, but eventually you need some kind of value. And Skaven is just a good fighting 3. Like you do need some fighting minions. Like a Dushnik fights the board and your things can clear it off. But if you have Tiny Dragon on top of all your 1/1s, then you kind of just break if you don't draw Doomcrag, and you don't want a deck like that. It's a one-sided Dawns, but if your Doomcrag goes online, you don't really need Tiny Dragon to go with Doomcrag.
So the problem with Doomcrag decks is actually finding Doomcrag. It's not having place once you have the Doomcrag.
Yeah, you have so much Doomcrag
So
synergy.
yeah. So the problem is usually like getting to the Doomcrag turn or drawing the Doomcrag. It's not having the synergy. So yeah.
Like, you don't want this. You're not playing this with Doomcrag on turn 6. You're playing Doomcrag like turn 8. If you haven't stabilized, you're kind of dead already. So like you don't want like it's a very cool synergy, but I don't think the applications is that game changing for the deck. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving it a 2.5. And yeah. All right, we'll move on to Devilsscamp. 3 mana, 3/3. All cards cost a minimum of 3. Okay, I don't really know what to say about this card. Yeah.
Did you see it getting played?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I was thinking of making a deck with it, but it's so difficult. Like you have so much better free drops. I just don't know what is this better than?
Yeah, like okay, so BB said this is just a tourney card versus Abomination. But okay, you beat Abomination, and then this card is just sitting in your deck. Like if we had like sideboard, then yes, you keep this, and then Abomination will never be brought into tournaments. But what do you do if you're not versus Abomination? You kind of just cry, right? It's understated and doesn't like you can't really protect this if you play it, so it kind of just dies.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can destroy it. You can slow down.
The stat line is really weak.
You can slow down a majority of fast decks, but fast decks have turn 4 plays, so you can just play Hive Defender, and then this thing just cries. At least for one turn, but you slow their tokens down, but it doesn't mean you buy yourself one turn if you play this on turn 3. And if you draw this late game, then you don't really stabilize. I mean, it's never turn 3.
The start line is too bad. Like, imagine how much play would Courtesy if it was a 3/3.
Yeah, Cultist 3/3 just dies to everything, right?
Yeah, so I think this is best compared to Coaches because it's the same effect, kind of like destructive effect that messes with your opponent's hand, but it has a weaker stat line. And sometimes it messes with your hand too, because chances are, if you're playing this deck, you want to be playing a fast deck, but all your 2 drops are suddenly 3 Magicka.
Okay, we're thinking about fast deck. So we play this in a slow deck, right? It doesn't belong in a slow deck either, because yeah, I don't think you want to play this in a slow deck either. So it doesn't really have a home.
Just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really do enough to be played in a slow deck. Like, what does it do to control? I don't see it.
Yeah. Like, what are you trying to hate if you're playing this card?
So I can see it as giving yourself an extra turn or 2 if you're a fast deck and you don't want them to remove your. But if you're on a slow deck, I don't see why would you play a Scamp.
Yeah, alright. Okay, so if in fast decks, what can we play? Crusader?
Yeah, Crusader. Crusader is.
But
Maybe Battle Mage.
But Crusader's power level is. The problem is that you don't really want this effect either because your weakness is Ice Storm, and this doesn't really help you against Ice Storm. And Firebolt's not really a thing. And they have Execute, they would have executed you way earlier. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Does it make the cards in the deck 3 cost as well? No, I don't think so. I think someone played a Conscription. Oh, the Coconut is there because I can't get webcam on the LBS. Or Discord at least. If you expect Doomcrags and a bomb, you play it, which is not now. I mean, okay, Kira, do you think this counters a bomb, Doomcrag?
Yeah.
This does?
Yeah, I think so.
So you play this on 5, and then you stop the Doomcrag turn.
Yeah, the Doomcrag is useless if you have this on the board.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. But you don't want to play this card on 5, do you? I guess you could protect it. Maybe this is an anti-Doomcrag card, but I don't really see it as of now. Maybe.
Okay, I would give it a 2.5 as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2, I think. Okay. Someone asks you, why is Karakondzhul always an angry coconut? Why isn't he a happy coconut? Okay.
Because I'm only allowed a single emote. If I had more, I would have a happy one too.
Yeah, all overstats remain the same, so yeah, I don't think so. Can you confirm deny? I don't think this denies conscription, right? I think someone just played conscription against this card. I saw it on Reddit, I think. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on because we have a lot of cards.
Alright, Unstable Madman. 3 mana 2/2, Nord. At the end of your turns, Unstable Madman gains +1/+1, then if he has 5 or more power, change him into Unstoppable Berserker. Which is... keeps the same as the 2/2 break, so it gains breakthrough. It keeps the stat lines. At the end of your turn, Unstoppable Berserker gains +2/+2. So it costs.
Yeah, so he gets breakthrough and starts growing faster.
Yeah. Oh, but you can also buff him to change him earlier, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right.
He just needs a 5 attack.
Yeah. So it dies to negation, but I mean, most things in this game die to negation. That's just the busted card. That should not be in should not be in control. Yeah. I think this card is really powerful, but we need to find a good deck for it.
Oh man, I was playing with this card and I'm loving it. This card it's so good. Like at worst, the turn you played is a free magic up 3/3, and then it gets better. So a free magic up 3/3 is like nothing amazing, but if you hide in the shadow, then the next one is a free magic up 4/4. But also, if you on top of that, you have something like Fifth Legion on Orclan or some other way to buff it, like it starts going very fast.
Oh yeah.
So this is an amazing card to race.
Oh, I can see it. So like Crusader, have you tried an Archer? So you can play in the shadow lane and then move it to field lane potentially.
I tried it in Crusader and I loved it.
Yeah, with so much buffs. It also dies to negation, but like most of the stuff, like most of the powerful cards in this game die to negation. So
yeah, everything dies to negation.
You cannot think like. Then you play this, like, if 5th Legion Trainer gets negation, then you have this card. Like, yeah, so, like, we cannot talk about its weakness to negation. It's just, negation is too good. Yeah.
Nice to Javelin unplayable.
Yeah. What else is it weak against, though? Like, I guess you can't play in the field lane, so if your opponent snowballs in the field lane, I guess you could try, like, the argument is that you race. I think this card could be 4.5 out of 5, but I've not played it in a real decks yet. So, yeah, I want to try this
I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you need quite a lot of synergy. Like, you need to try to protect this card while buffing it. So there's a few conditions.
You need some card to buff it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright.
It might be a 4.5 because it's just a really powerful free drop.
Yeah.
And Red doesn't have that many powerful free drops other than Cultist. What else like do you see every game?
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, I guess it could be even a 4.5.
Oh, someone said you can use the ring. So you turn 1 Nord Firebrand ring, turn 2 play this card. No, it doesn't. No. Okay, let's not go there. All right, for us, we're gonna give this 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. And the Berserker dies to negation as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it is vulnerable to silence. But I mean, A lot of things are
Well,
available with silence.
it lives behind the 2-1. So if your opponent used the silence, well, it's going to leave behind the 2-2, but most of the silence are like spinner or sharpshooter. So it's going to leave behind the 2-1. So your opponent invested like 3 or 4 magicka, and he didn't even kill your guy. So I'm not unhappy with this.
Yeah, I think it's quite good.
I mean, it's only a free drop. Like, how much more value do you want?
Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah, I think 4.5 out of 5 is, I think, is one of the best cards in the set if we can find a deck for it. Alright, let's go to Drive Mad. Honestly, with Fel the Mighty, I don't see the point of this card.
Have you had it played against you?
Yeah, dude, the animation, oh my gosh. I will play this just for the animation.
Yeah, it goes on forever.
Oh, dude, this animation. I guess you can tilt your opponent, literally drive them mad, but... What creature wants to battle itself? Like Drain?
Oh, you mean use it on your own stuff?
I don't know. Like, why else would you play this card? Why is this better than Fel the Mighty? I think that's the most obvious comparison, right? For Magicka removal card in red.
Well, if you wanted more removal, you can have it, I guess.
So you want to play Spell Sword and have 6 javelins in your deck?
Yeah. I mean, it's a 4-cost javelin without a prophecy, and 6 of them.
Yeah, I guess you can technically kill 3/3 things with this card. Right? It's a little better. You can kill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can kill Scorpion. Yes.
Like, you have so many free frees right now, so you can get rid of all of them.
But then you're trading 4 cost for 3 cost, and why would you not play Crushing Blow?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when do you ever want to slay yourself? Falkreath? But like, you don't want to turn 4 Falkreath, turn 5 Drive Mad. Yeah, I would not run this in Rage Warrior, I think.
I think Falkreath and Drive Mad, that's an 8-cost combo. And
yeah.
You can just play an 8-cost.
Okay, no, I was saying, no. It's like Squish, right?
What are you gonna...
No, so
what are you gonna bring
you don't
back?
do it as an 8-cost combo. You do, like, when you have Falkreath on board and you trade something. I don't know. I'm trying to make use justification. Because Crushing Blow can't kill Vigilant Giant with Scorpion, so this is your late game card, right? So then this is probably Magicka equivalent to 6 or 7, because you want to play this late game and not that much early game.
I don't know. I think if you use that for Slay effect on your own minions, it's
really bad, right?
Useless, yeah. I think the only use it has is as removal, which it does okay job at it.
Yeah.
So you can play it in Control Halau, for example.
I guess, yeah, you kill Scorpion, but Scorpion is not meta, so... But like, if you want to slay little minions, this card is just not as good. Because... Wait, okay, what if you use this on your opponent's Cicero? Does your opponent's Cicero draw cards?
I think Slay only works on your turn.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, so I guess this... I think I'm gonna give this 2 out of 5. Like the removal is...
Yeah, I agree.
But...
Yeah, the removal is there.
Maybe someone
but
can...
Maybe
someone can find a home for this card, but right now, not really.
This doesn't get rid of some stuff like Corrupted Shade.
Yeah. Whereas Fel the Mighty would, unlike Hiking Emeric.
Yeah.
If you buff the new 0/3 guard, giving him a Slay ability and then Drive Mad to it, it will probably get bug and trigger the Slay 2 times, which means 4 times with Brotherhood support, which means it's playable. What rarity is Fel the Mighty? I think it's a rare. Yeah. Like, okay, guys, you know, every card in this expansion is like, Oh, you Night Talon Lord with this card. But guys, you can't run Night Talon Lord unless you have early game support. Like, Night Talon Lord does not need late game support. If Night Talon Lord lives, you win. That's why you don't ever compare a card combined with Night Talon Lord. At least that's my opinion. Unless maybe Squish. Maybe Squish is the exception. Alright, 2 out of 5. We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Nervous Giant. Oh, I like this card. Like, Frenzy revealed it, and yeah, his presentation was amazing. So, it's a 4 Magicka Giant to 6/5. If Nervous Giant takes exactly 1 damage, destroy him. I mean, at first I thought it was awful. But then, actually, it's not that bad, I think. What do you think, Eric?
I still think it's awful.
You still think it's awful? I mean, in the right metas, it's not easy to deal exactly 1 damage.
Is it not?
Okay, you play this against Sorcerer. They can't remove it.
Well, okay. Sorcerer, yeah, Sorcerer doesn't really have a way to do it. But, I don't know, 4 Magicka 6/5, it's pretty good, but the upside is not worth the stats. You have... I don't know. I think it's not worth it.
Okay, I don't think... Okay, this does not belong in silence. I don't think this is good with silence. But I think...
You compare this to Ogrim, I think.
Okay, yeah, Ogrim is probably the card. Yeah, okay. I think the purpose of this card is a tech card for tournaments. Like, you can play a red mid-range / aggro deck, and this is your troll. Because in tournaments, you know the exact deck list, and some deck lists just don't have 1 damage.
Yeah.
Or like, if it is a fight... Okay, no, Fighter's Guild is usually with archers, so never mind. Yeah. I mean, if this eats Fighter's Guild, it's the same thing. But I don't think it's a ladder card, though. Like, if you just see an unfavorable matchup, you're playing 4 Magicka gets removed very easily. Wait, does this die to Murkwater Witch?
I'm gonna assume no.
Right.
Apparently, if you rapid shot it, you don't draw a card.
Yeah, because it doesn't survive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is this better than Bankorai Butcher? Bankorai is actually kind of tricky to proc, like on curve.
I would rather have a 4/3 than something that can die for free, pretty much.
Okay, let's say what meta removal, like tournament decks, right? Let's talk about tournament decks. What removes this? That is, doesn't trade with it already. Like, Telvanni can't really remove this either, other than Viper. But Viper already removes every big thing.
Well, they do have 1 attack guys,
oh, yes, these
Ungolrim and Thieves Guild.
Yeah. Well, this sucks against Doomcrag, right? Everything in Doomcrag. Yes, this is bad versus Doomcrag and bad versus Scave. Yeah. This is just gets fucked by red and tokens.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess the only good deck it is against is like Sorcerer, Monk maybe, if it ever comes back. Assassin is okay. But I think it's a 2.5 out of 5.
I would just pick a more consistent 4-drop that's good against everything.
Yeah.
Honestly. I'll never play this. I would give it a 2.
You know what Ekers said? You can Cloud Rest your 5 attack to kill it. That'll be a funny play.
Okay.
Alright, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think I like this card, but I think it's a little conditional.
Play it after your token opponent plays further. Okay, I like the thinking.
Yeah. Alright. Troubleseeker, 5 mana, 3/5 orc. Battle an enemy creature. When Troubleseeker takes damage, he deals damage to you. I mean, I think this is obviously supposed to work with a Toby.
Yeah. I was thinking the same, and then I started building an orc deck, and then I realized I have Sower, I have Toby, I have the Charge Orc. Why would I play this? I have way too many 5-drops.
Yeah. And this, I guess clan captain, no, not even. I think if it's higher attack, then it's better. Because at least if it's higher attack, you can run the orc banner, so at least it survives battle. 5 Magicka 3/2 makes 3 damage to a creature, draw a card. Not worth it, right? Yeah, what Paydomax said. I think that's how you see the card. Because if you battle a minion, it usually takes 3 damage, and you take 3 damage to the face. Oh, Toby is Militant Chieftain, the Orc dual color card. We call him Toby because he was bugged, and I guess his code spelled out to be Toby. Can you cancel the battle? Yes. Yeah, so you were playing with this card. How did you find it?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I built a deck with it, but I don't think I ever drew it, and I started losing too many games, so I stopped it. I stopped the orc. It was some kind of orcs with ring.
If you can cancel the battle, this is auto-included in every orc deck. I guess I mean, this is one of the better orcs. I think it's not one of the better orcs. It's like 2 out of 5 for orcs.
I mean, the main issue is it's a 5-drop.
Yeah. I think if it was a 6-drop, it would even be better. But like, even if it's worse stat lines, a 6-drop, at least you can curve Toby into this. But it's a 5 cost, and 5 cost in Warrior is just way too heavily contested. I think I would give this a 2 out of 5. Like, it's only in orc decks. Even then, might not even want this.
Well, I think if this is being played, it's not an orc deck. But yeah, I don't know where else.
Prophecy,
I don't know.
orc.
I'll give it a 2.5.
Right. Prophecy orc you could use it. Yeah. Okay, what do you think about this effect though? Like this summon ability. Like if it was printed on another card, would it be okay?
I really like the summon ability.
Yeah, me too. But I think, it feels like a red ability as well, right? But it's just not on this stat line or on this. Yeah. Oh, but Paydomax, there's also Sower in those decks as well. All right.
Yeah, you're forgetting about Sower of Revenge, Peter.
5 health is good, but 5 Magicka should be 5 health. Yeah. Alright, anyways, let's move on. Let's Seal, Dutchess of Dementia. 7/6, it's a what elf? This lane becomes Dementia. So
have you played Seal?
Yeah, I played her 1 turn. I think her stat line is pretty solid.
I'm liking Seal. I won a game because of it.
Yeah.
So it makes it so that Shaco is not an answer to your threat anymore, because you still deal damage.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it does have a pretty good use. So yeah, I'm enjoying Seal. I think so far, I think she's gonna see play.
Oh, she doesn't cancel the Shadow Lane effects, it just adds on to it. Alright, Paydomax says it's 6 Magicka 7/6, someone died because Tempo lost. I think this card is only good if you're ahead on board. Right? Like, not ahead, but like at least kind of even.
Hey, you push with this against control. You don't. I mean, obviously, you're not gonna play it against aggro.
I think this is better than like Jarl as a 6-drop, or even Ashcan.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's better than a Jarl. I replaced it. I replaced my Jarl with this.
Yeah, and I think it's better than Ashcan, even though like if your opponent deals damage to you, that means it's card draw, and if you can deal damage to your opponent, then yeah. So I think this card can be powerful. You just not need to be too far behind. And 7/6 stat line is quite good, just for racing as well. So what would you give this?
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. What about aggro versus aggro? This card seems pretty bad. Why is it bad? If you change your lane to a Dementia and Seal, they have to get rid of Seal if they don't want the Dementia effect to go off, because I'm pretty sure Seal is like the fattest thing out there in an aggro versus aggro mirror, unless like some stupid buffs. Unless maybe your opponent has a huge madman, Because of tempo
Well,
loss?
if you're playing aggro versus aggro, Turn-Seek is where you want to have lethal, not where you want to turn your lanes into dementia.
I guess so, but I'm thinking like mid-rangey, not aggro versus aggro. I mean, like if this replaces Jarl, obviously you're not playing Jarl in the mirror, right? And this could set up turn 7 lethal. Or could set up.
Yeah, let me put it that way. It's better than a Yarrow. I think always it's better than a Yarrow.
Yeah. And yeah, it's better than a Jarl, so it takes the spot of a Jarl, or Moose, or Ashcan. I mean, basically this is your late game resource extension. I want to include this in aggro because you don't want to go above turn 7 and 8. Okay, let's not say aggro, but like more like mid-grow. Like, would you play this in Warrior? Would you?
In Warrior, okay. I haven't thought about it. I put it in my Crusader and it was pretty good there. Don't know about Warrior, but yeah, maybe. I think it's better than the Arrow. So
Yeah, and you
maybe
have a
we
lot
can
of fat
replace
decks,
the Arrow.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Crusader with maybe Belligerent Giants. Like, I feel like this is and the Belligerent Giant are best friends. Like, you kind of want to be a little slower. You want to flip tempo turn 6. And that's
Oh
where
yeah,
you go.
this into Belligerent is insane.
Yeah. You can just race, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play the mid archer where you have a lot of reach, and this adds even more. Yeah, you kind of just like this. I think belongs in like fat things. Yeah, so I like this card. I would give it a 4 out of 5 as well. But who knows? It might be more of a 3 or 3.5. But at least this is better than Ashcan or Jarl. At least in that sort of style of decks. Alright. Oh, what do you think? Okay, let's before we move on. What do you think about lane effects, lane changing effects?
Well, I'm enjoying it. It makes it so it gives your turn. It gives your opponent a turn to interact with your board, so he has a chance to react to it. So yeah, I think it's an interactive change. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think so too. And so far, it's not. I don't think these, since there's 6 stats, 6 cost and unique, they're not gonna be too. Like, you can't break the meta with these cards, I guess so. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes the game more interesting as well. Like you suddenly you have another thing to consider. Like, is he gonna proc the lane next turn? Should I do something about it? It makes it a bit more exciting.
Yeah, and I guess you can play this in Prophecy Battle Mage. You can play this like a Gladiator's Arena, pseudo with the body. Alright, let's move on. Gromite Magus. So, 7 cost 5/5 Gromite. Guard, summon your opponent card, discards the highest cost action in their hand.
I lost this card once.
You lost to discard? What did it discard?
I was actually playing against the AI in the missions, and then I started to BM him, and then he turned into me and removed my Lito.
Okay, yeah. Alright, my initial thoughts, I think, it feels like a Memory Wraith. Right?
I think this is better than the Memory Wraith.
Really?
Oh yeah, I think this always has a use.
Okay, that is true.
Like, your opponent is probably gonna have an action in his hand all the time, unless he's out of cards.
Yeah, you're right. Like, aggro always holds Bolt. So,
yeah,
discard Bolt. But
the main issue is like getting to turn 7.
And then have a 5/5 guard that's good enough to play on turn 7.
Yeah.
Death Priest and Memory Wraith made a baby. yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate description. I feel like this feels like a very what ladder players want. Is to hand hate. But I don't think this is so practical. Like, do you think this will see tournament play?
Yeah.
Alright. In what kind of decks? Like red control?
Yeah, some kind of red control. We don't have something similar right now, but I think someone will create a list that this will fit in.
Yeah, I guess if like it does counter conscription. Like, I guess you have to, but then you would have to probably run 3 of if you're trying to counter conscription with this card. And then, so this has to be very late game card. Like this has to take a slot of Manticora, I think, if you're gonna play a proper control deck on.
Yeah, this is like, this is really late game.
Like you don't even think this is a 7. This is not your 7 cost. This is more like your 10 cost because of the effect. Like, you cannot play this on 7 versus aggro most of the time or mid range. You would just get destroyed.
Well, you would if you could, but yeah,
like if you're forced to, obviously,
too much pressure. Yeah, most of the time you be under too much pressure.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I think it can see some play, but obviously it has to be very specific. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Like it will see in if red control is ever a thing, I think this is gonna find a.
Yeah, this is your late game win condition, but like obviously it's a disruption effect, so you need to. It's kind of a guaranteed disruption effect like Death Priest, but it needs to hit a big card. Otherwise, it's just not doing enough as your late game. All right.
Grit as well.
Yeah. All right. Guard. Okay. What is your favorite card in red? I'm gonna go with Seal actually, but I think Unstable Madman is the best card.
I'm going with Madman.
Yeah. All right.